freedom, don't we? Our country achieved independence 78 years back, and yet many of us still live imprisoned, not in cells, but in our own mind. Because the toughest prisons are built not of walls, but of our own thoughts, where we hold on to memories, mistakes, relationships, grudges, as if clutching them will somehow make life better. But the truth is, the more you hold on, the less you can breathe, literally. Have you ever tried holding your breath? Let us do it right now. Take a deep breath in and hold. Now, if I ask you to continue holding your breath for another minute or so, how would you feel? You know your senses are going to tell you to let go. Even to stay alive, we have to let go of the breath we are holding on to take in the next. That's nature's way of teaching the first rule to live life, letting go. And I am here to take you on a journey from that heavy sigh of pain of holding on, to that liberating moment of realization, release, and freedom. Hello, everyone. I am Ritvika Marar, a life coach and a soul traveling inwards. The theme, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the creator of my reality, reminds us of this paradox that our greatest power often comes from our deepest vulnerability. And through my story, I realized how true that is. Let me take you back to early 2000s, when I was still in school. Yeah, that's me, by the way. Being youngest of the three sisters, sorry, I'll just go back. Yeah. Being youngest of the three sisters, I was undoubtedly the pampered one. I lived a childhood that was full of love, happiness, and safety. Our family of 5 was one of the happiest you would find around. But amongst us lived a silent killer. Diabetes. That was my mother's constant companion for more than 2 decades. And on a random day, a regular routine checkup turned into a nightmare. She went to the hospital walking in and came out in a wheelchair. Both her kidneys were damaged and other organs were getting affected too. Dialysis was the only option, even though a painful one. I saw my mother fighting for months for her life and holding on. One day, she just slipped into a coma. She struggled a lot, not ready to leave me yet, until she finally did. We lost her forever. But I wasn't ready to let go. I was barely 18 when this happened. In losing my mother, I lost my biggest cheerleader. Along with it came a lot of pain. But instead of feeling that pain, I buried it deep within. I was trying to escape from this hard reality, avoiding all the conversations around it as if it would make things better. I now know that I was just not ready to accept what had happened with me. I used to live in a hostel, constantly surrounded by people, and yet, deep within, I felt alone. I would be laughing with my friends one moment and crying into the pillow the next, hiding the pain from all. I even started avoiding my father, who was that one person I loved the most. Despite all of this, on the outside, I looked fine. Still, the happy, chubby girl. I believed that if I kept avoiding it all, not accepting it, and kept pretending, I will remain safe from the pain. Because isn't that what all the strong people do? pretend to move on, I now realize that in doing that, in this process, I was hurting myself more and more. Years went by. Life kept happening. In the span of next 14 years, I graduated, worked with various companies, got married to my love, became a mother myself. And in 2018, when I quit my job, one day I found myself alone, surrounded by silence that was too loud. All the unprocessed guilt, grief, regrets came rushing back. And there came a moment when I thought, I can't do this anymore. That was the lowest moment of my life, my moment. And it was in this moment of darkness when I found light. I was holding so much within that I was losing myself. It was like I was holding on to my breath, and holding it any longer would mean I would lose myself forever. I realized if I can't hold my breath in order to stay alive, I also cannot hold on to my pain if I wanted to survive. That night, I felt I have not allowed life to flow through me. And the moment I recognized that, I took my first real breath and my first step into the art of letting go. In the journey of learning to live life again, I learned a simple, well, not so simple, 3-step process. And today, I'm here to share it with all of you. The first step, acknowledge and accept. Acknowledging my hurt allowed me to understand what went wrong all along. While on the outside, I was living a perfect life, inside, I was breaking bit by bit. In 2018, I joined an NLP program, a decision that changed my inner world. For the first time, I allowed myself to face my truth, that I had lost my mother, and that I no longer have a cherished relationship with my father. Now listen to me very carefully when I say this. Acceptance doesn't change your past. It changes your relationship with it. It is like standing in a river. The moment and the more you are fighting and resisting the current, the more exhausting you feel. But the moment you let go and start flowing with it, the same water that exhausts you begins to carry you forward. And the moment I stopped resisting life's flow, I learned something that grounded me. Healing begins where denial ends. And that brings us to the second step, healing. And healing is not like your Netflix episode. It doesn't get over in 40 minutes with a happy ending and a beautiful background music. It's messy. It's slow. At times, it feels nothing's happening. And slowly, it starts feeling better. And as I started acknowledging, accepting, and letting go of my old hurts, I started feeling lighter. I found myself reconnecting with my father. And no, it did not happen overnight. But those deliberately missed calls turned into some beautiful conversations. Healing is like standing in that river, allowing the water to carry what doesn't belong. I finally started letting go of those parts of me that no longer served me. And healing taught me something beautiful and powerful. Letting go doesn't mean you lose meaning. It means you lose things that no longer hold any meaning. And in the process of healing, one day I woke up in the morning smiling, happy for no reason. And that's when I knew my healing had begun. However, healing is a continuous process. And there is something that is most important that allows you to stay in the present, to acknowledge, and to let go, to heal. And that is the third step, what I call as aware action. Now, what is this aware action? It's the inner shift, the awareness that gently nudges you to right action. You stop fighting to figure out everything in life and start to act without pressure, without force. It's like you are in that space where you feel you understand and know what needs to be done at this moment. And that acknowledgement allows you to accept and act. And with every action, the next step becomes clear. Now, aware action is something like finally flowing with the water, where you are no longer fighting the current, no longer standing in the middle frozen, but you learn to let the river guide you. And there is a moment in every river where the water below you feels different, gentler, smoother, almost inviting. And you realize, I no longer have to struggle. I can let the flow carry me forward. Start finding my own rhythm and enjoy the swim. Well, that's what aware action felt like to me. With that inner shift, the efforts were no longer effort, but all my action felt like a flow. When I quit my job and I was at my lowest, I lost myself for a while and then found myself back again through my calling in training and coaching. And since then, I helped a lot of people rewrite their stories and help them to move from ah to aha. Life hit me hard for the second time when I lost my father in 2020. But this time, I did not break. I did not lose myself. I did not avoid. I breathe. Because grief is not something you get over with. Grief is something you learn to live with. In letting go, I did not forget my parents. In fact, Amma and Acha, as I fondly used to call them, I believe are more present with me today than ever. I started living their love every single day. In today's world of artificial intelligence, where we are surrounded by systems that constantly remembers, our phone remembers what we searched 5 years ago. The internet remembers our search history even when we have deleted it. But the human intelligence lies in forgetting the unnecessary, in choosing what to hold, what to release. Because when we release, we create. And that's the paradox. Our vulnerability becomes our power. Someone once said to me, Ritvika, you know, life is all about discovering who you are. And I was like, nah, life is all about creating who you want to be. And creation is impossible without letting go of the old version of you. In every experience of my life, especially in training and coaching, time and again I have seen this. People tend to stay in forced friendships, in toxic relationships, at draining workplaces, in suffocating households. People constantly limit their experiences and expressions for it feels safe. They hold on, hurting themselves more. not realizing that while letting go seems painful, it is what releases you from deeper hurt and stronger pain. It invites freedom. And today, I urge you all to let go of those job titles, the hurt, the validation, the need to be perfect. Because the moment you stop clinging, life begins to flow. I would like to leave you all with my understanding of Aham Brahmasmi. It literally means I am the creator of my reality. And that doesn't mean I control everything. It means I create meaning out of everything. It is a constant reminder to me. With every inhale, I create. With every exhale, I surrender. And in that sacred space in between, I meet the truth of who I am. Thank you so much, everyone.